BJJ training and you're worried about injuries, that makes sense. Actually, I've got to ask this question a few times. People that rely on their hands to work. One guy's a professional. Actually, two guys were professional guitarists.
Oh, yeah.
And they're sketched out about doing jiu-jitsu. Anybody that has a job that relies on a lot of physicality, you are at risk because you're doing a sport. Now, injuries absolutely happen in jiu-jitsu. It is a contact sport, and you can get injured while you're doing it. You can get injured in any sport that you do.
Yeah.
Any sport that you do. The worst, I hurt my knee. I had an 80% tear on my MCL. Mm-hmm. Did it surfing. Yeah. Been heel hooked by Dean Lister thousands and thousands of times. Never had a knee injury. Mm-hmm. I'm out surfing and it hurt my knee. So you can get hurt doing anything. But so you have to be careful, right? And I think one of the most critical ways to be careful in jiu-jitsu is by make sure that you're picking the right training partners.
Yeah.
Because there's some knucklehead training partners at every gym, and they're a 22-year-old male who has a lot of testosterone and has a very sensitive ego, and so he's looking just to crush everyone. Mm-hmm. So you got to watch out for that guy. And actually, I shouldn't actually paint that so broad brush, because there's plenty of people that are older people with a big ego and younger people. There's just basically you got to watch out for these knuckleheads that are going to go crazy.
Yeah, some people don't know better too. They just happen to be big and strong, and they're not being knuckleheads. True. They're just like, they're getting it. They
told me to grab the arm and pull.
I'm trying to pass that guard. I don't know that much technique. I'm just gonna go hard.
No, you're right. They're not intentionally being aggressive, right. But jiu-jitsu is an aggressive sport, and if you happen to be 260 pounds, that can be problematic. Yeah. So you want to, and I know it sounds weird. Everyone goes, "Well, I don't want to roll some purple belt that's just gonna run through me." No, actually, you do. Yeah. The purple belt, the chance of you getting hurt by a purple belt are infinitely less than you getting hurt by a white belt.
Absolutely true.
And the higher you go up, the more accurate that is, unless of course you're a problem,
right?
Or you're a bully, and there needs to be a regulatory situation happening. In which case, a black belt is not going to,
Yeah, he won't injure you though. That's the thing.
True.
It's like I think when you enter fighting sports, punishment isn't being beat up. You get beat up. That's part of the game.
True.
It's more of like an embarrassment thing, or like
just humility. Just getting humbled.
Yeah, like they're gonna wear you out. Or make you look like you suck, or I don't. It's more of like a lesson thing in that way. It's not like getting beat up.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now another piece of this, and this is just a reality. Okay, doing stand up, you have a higher chance of getting hurt. Like doing takedowns, going hard takedowns, either judo style takedowns or wrestling style takedowns, you have a higher chance of getting a knee injury or an ankle injury. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. So be careful. Just think about what you're doing there with stand-ups. If you're a person that's, you got to learn some basic takedowns, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But do you need to step in there night after night and get your full-on wrestling practice together? And if you're a 43-year-old person that, you're a 43-year-old cop that's working the beat, you need to know takedowns. Don't get me wrong. You need to train them. You need to study them. You need to make sure you know how to do them. Do you need to out-wrestle somebody in a wrestling situation? Probably not. You're not going to need to do that. Yeah. So just use caution with takedowns. Make sure you know how to do them. But as you get to where you want to not get injured is one of your primary thoughts in training, then just be careful to stand up. Yeah. Obviously do a good warm-up, and this is something I'm just the worst perpetrator of not warming up well. I like to warm up by rolling. So, and actually now I do usually do one round where I'm just kind of chilling and just kind of rolling flow. But I used to not even do that. I used to just like clap hands and go. So don't do that. Obviously keep your ego in check. And I'll tell you another thing, and I was talking about this with Greg Train the other day, because Greg Train popped his rib.
Yeah.
And he was just saying to me, his rib is recovered now, but he was saying to me, he's like, I think you don't get injured because you work out all the time. And I'm like, I agree with you 100%.
Yep.
So I believe that you should work out on a regular basis. And somebody just asked me, do you train and lift on the same days? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I train and lift every day.
Yeah.
So get your workout program going on. Make sure you maintain that. Some people, when they start doing jiu-jitsu, they're going so crazy that they use all this muscle, and so they go, I'm not going to work out because I'm just getting a workout. No, wrong answer.
Mm-hmm.
Keep working out. As a matter of fact, you should, and I always encourage working out, lifting, doing your Metcon, doing whatever, before you do jiu-jitsu.
Mm.
That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be tired when I show up to jiu-jitsu and fight in a worse scenario, make it harder for myself. I don't want to show up and be all fresh and like that's going to happen every day. No, I like to be tired, worn out, stressed system, and then show up and still get after it on the mats.
Yeah, that part's pretty advanced, though, to do it like that. I gotta say, I mean, being new, as the question indicates.
I've done that the whole time.
Yeah, and I've done that too before, and good. Yeah.
Do you work out after? You lift weights after you train jiu-jitsu?
I've done both.
Oh, okay. What do you do normally?
I do one, and I don't do 2 days normally.
Oh, so when you roll into the mat, you're like all fresh.
In a matter of speaking, yeah, fresher than I would be if I did a workout before. Yes,
okay.
Put it that way.
That's cool. No,
as of right now, that is how it is. Yes, for sure. But before, and even when I was training for competition and stuff, oh yeah, and even maybe 3 years ago, maybe. I'd work out. I'd do the workout first, and then go roll out in the evening.
I think that's the plan. As much as you can work on your flexibility.
Yeah.
And this is something that this is a big fail area in my book. I'm not flexible as I should be. And if you are more flexible, your injury levels are going to go down.
Yeah.
So, stretch. And it's real easy stuff that, everyone says to do, when you're sitting there on the mat, even when you're sitting on the mat and the teacher's teaching, try to go to lotus position. Try and, just do stretches while you're doing that. Yeah. If you're sitting around, just stretch while you're sitting around, while you're working on your computer, sit in a way that you're getting some kind of stretch. So stretch and be flexible as much as you can. Now, another thing I kind of talked about guitarists and anybody, a surgeon, anybody that's working with their hands and wants to protect their fingers. Mm. I would recommend maybe emphasizing more no gi, where you're not grabbing onto that gi all the time.
Yeah, yeah. And fingers get caught up in there, and he twists or something too. You can yank them. Actually, every time pretty much.
It's fairly common. My worst finger injury was actually no gi. So and I only did it a couple months ago, which is just, and it was just a bizarre, it's a bizarre incident. It was one of those things. So that's why it's really hard for me to just straight up encourage somebody that needs their fingers. Yeah. Like, no, you don't worry. You're not going to get, no, you can't get hurt. Now, I've had one finger injury, significant finger injury in 20 plus years. Yeah. So you can get a finger injury cutting the carrots on the, in the kitchen. So, you got to be careful, but there's no guarantee that you're not going to hurt. And I'll tell you, and the other thing is, I will say this. You got some chance of getting injured, right? But there's also some massive physical and mental benefits that will likely outweigh the injuries, the perceived injuries or the possible injuries that you might get. Yeah. So you're just going to be healthier. Your fingers are going to be stronger. Yeah. I mean, you might get some injured fingers, but you are also going to have fingers that are stronger. Your grip is going to be stronger. Yep. So that's beneficial. Your mind is going to be stronger. Your cardiovascular system is going to be stronger. So there's a lot of benefits to jiu-jitsu that outweigh, in my mind, the possibility of having an injury. Yeah. I mean, the possibility of having a catastrophic injury is pretty small, especially if you train smart. Agree. It really is.
Agree. Absolutely agree. Yes. And when you think about it, even of the people that you know, over 20 years, that's a lot of people that you know. Who's had any kind of major injury?
Well,
really?
If you count, it depends what you count as a major injury. But, if you blow out your knee, that means you're going to be down. You're going to be 6 months of surgery or whatever. Surgery and 6 months of rehab and then another 3 months before you can train. That's, that's a year. Yeah. And that could be, some people consider that catastrophic injury. Yeah. I know I would be devastated. But at the same time, I got neck surgery. I was out for a bit. Yeah. Don't even remember it now. Flash in the pan. Who cares? Whatever. Yeah. Deal with it. I played more guitar during that time. You know what I mean? Good times.
Yeah. And in in reference to this question, man, this is anything you do. Guys on the basketball court all the time. I'll go up for just recreational basketball, pickup game, weekend, whatever, blow out their knee, ankle, whatever, you know. I've been in the game, 12 years. I had one because I was getting nuts in a tournament, bicep tear, major injury, you know, out for, a year or whatever. But other than that, I've never been injured because of a submission.
That's a lot of training, too.
Yeah, in full speed training, competition, like everything. In as far as submission holds go, never been injured in a submission. You know how like guys with double tapping time?
No, you should definitely. If you're a smart jiu-jitsu player, you'll never get injured from somebody trying a submission on you because you tap.
Yeah, you tap, and look, it's not gonna not hurt. You know, if you tap too late, usually it's just you get hurt. Maybe your shoulders kind of whatever for a week, but you can still train. It's not an injury. Put it that way.
Yep.
You know, and even if you're big, small, I think that's pretty common. It's really rare that I see, my ACL is out because of a heel hook. Maybe in competition because you're trying to win. Yeah. You weren't trying to tap. There's a few. Okay, but yeah, generally speaking, it's surprising almost that it's that safe.
It is when you consider what the objective of the sport is to break and destroy people's limbs. Yeah, the fact that it rarely happens.
I know.
It just rarely happens.
Yeah.
So, yes, be careful. There's no guarantees, but train.
Back to the training partners part. You know, when the first where you were saying, be careful who you train with and stuff like that. So sometimes, especially like let's say if you're older, or even if you're a girl and you go in and you're the only girl, and some people they let's say the guy doesn't know any better and he's going hard. You can tell when he starts to go hard. Sometimes it can be awkward to kind of say, hey, like respectfully, I'm not going to roll with you because of, it's kind of like asking someone to dance and them saying no.
Yeah.
It's like rejection. So it's awkward. So sometimes people will just tough it out and be like, I'll just try to endure. I think if you can, if you can go through that and really look out for yourself where, the guy's going nuts, it's obviously, usually he's not trying to go nuts and hurt you. That's pretty rare. But they don't know any better. They're a white belt or, whatever. Yeah. And they're just bigger and stronger, whatever. And they're going nuts. You gotta find a good tactful way to be like, hey, I respect you. Yep. But I'm concerned about like just my injuries or whatever.
Yeah, just, you know what? Hey, sorry, I only roll with people under 130 because I have a, injured rib.
Yeah.
And there you go. Just, is that a white lie? Maybe it is. But I don't think it's a malicious situation.
White lies are fine when you're breaking.
Sam Harris, I apologize for telling people to tell a little white lie to save themselves massive injuries, catastrophic injuries.
Yeah. But again, it's like telling someone no when they ask you to dance. You can tell white lies. The fact is, man, for my own reasons, I don't want to dance. Yeah.
Yeah, but it might be okay to say, "Oh, sorry, I'm here with Billy over there, and so I can't dance with you." And that's actually going to make you feel better than just say, "Hey, you know what? Actually, I don't like you.
Yeah.
You kind of disgust me, so I'm not dancing with you. Walk away."
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Is it necessary to do that? Probably not. Maybe the little white lie is okay.
Helps. Yeah.
Again, Sam Harris, apologize. We're encouraging lying.
Yeah. It's like saying, like, I'm not going to say, hey, you're a spaz. You're a liability. You might hurt me because of what you don't know how to do. I'm not going to roll with you. That's different. You offended the guy.
Yeah.
Most likely.
So actually, we're actually talking about that while you are on the jiu-jitsu mats doing physical jiu-jitsu. Sometimes you got to throw in a little mental jiu-jitsu in the situation and just manipulate a little bit the mentality of your training partners.
Yep. And that is in the spirit of safety.
Indeed.
Because I don't think Jocko would ever say that to anybody. He'd be like, "Oh, you're a spaz, bring it on," if I'm not mistaken.
You got to deal with them people.
Yep. Next question. When dealing with new groups of folks.
Hey, before you go there, by the way, sometimes you should train with someone that's really spaz and harder and bigger than you. You should do that sometimes. Now, you should use caution when you do it. Maybe you can get that. I would rather if my son, if I'm going to have him train with someone that's big and strong, I'm going to have him train with you. I'm going to have him train with Dean.
Yeah.
Because I know that you guys will give him enough strength to, but you're not going to hurt him because he's only 140 pounds.
Yes.
But I don't want to give the impression here, like sometimes you got to roll with that. Sometimes you got to roll with somebody that's big, strong, and doesn't know what they're doing just so now you and I know what to do there. But if you're a blue belt, if you're a blue belt and a big wrestler shows and you weigh 165 pounds and a wrestler shows up that weighs 240 and it's his third day and you're a young guy, it's a good idea to roll with that person because they're going to do things you aren't expecting. They're really strong. They're going to be trying really hard, and you want to train for yourself for the unexpected. So basically, I'm not saying when I say watch your training partners, I'm not saying for a normal person that's training crawl into a safety bubble while you're on the mats. No, especially people that are young and fit. You should be training with every person you can. Absolutely. Every different body style. Try them out. Big wrestlers, small people, lanky people. Train with them all because that gets you used to all those different body styles. It improves your game.
Yep.
I'm saying if you are very concerned about injuries because you have a job that requires you to, use your hands or walk or whatever, then you go, okay, you know what? I need to take the long vision here, fight the long war, and really be selective on my training partners.
Absolutely correct. Yes. Just like how the question is, I want to start jiu-jitsu and I'm worried about it. So
exactly that guy, use your brain.
Exactly. But just like how you said, when you get to about blue belt, you got to start introducing more challenges in different ways. And absolutely correct, man. Because if you don't, and you can, let's say you're used to the same training partners all the time, and you train with blue belts, purple belts. There's specific and very effective jiu-jitsu moves for other jiu-jitsu moves, right? So it's like, don't turn your back. All these rules that are pretty fundamental that rarely should be broken, and we all know them. So you roll with a guy who's his third day as an athletic wrestler. He doesn't know those rules, but now, so he puts you outside of the whole format of jiu-jitsu. Yep. And if you don't know it, it's like, dang, it's almost like my jiu-jitsu is not really working that good, if you're not used to it. But if you are used to it, you'd be like, okay.
And that's such a good technique to use with people, right? When you're dealing with people, like people's personalities, people have a personality that's how they deal with things. And they funnel people into their world. So if you have to break that, just step outside their world. Like, don't get drawn into people's worlds, right? Don't get drawn into people's strengths. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but don't get drawn into their strengths. Don't get drawn into their way of fighting. Because you're not going to be able to win that battle because you do it all day long, right? So just come at them from a different angle, usually disarm them somehow instead of being confrontational. This is just normal stuff, but instead of being confrontational with somebody, take a little flank and maybe, massage their ego a little bit. But that's it. It's the exact same thing. Yep. If people have a way of doing things and you can get outside their pattern, you have a better chance of getting a victory.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works.